brothers and sisters, generals. We are alive and breathing. We are back to conquer another day, another year, and another decade. And we gonna speak on today, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, family, brothers and sisters, wherever you are in your part of the world, may you be strong. And we gonna hit on when righteousness becomes second nature, and it's not easy to get to this point. It really isn't. It takes a lot of work. Well, it depends on who we are, what level we at, how long it take us to learn things along this wonderful journey. It's not always wonderful, but it can be wonderful. And it gets more beautiful and wonderful as we flow along, as we study thyself, I honor thy ancestors, man, for doing that, for fighting so hard through tooth and nail. And I always like to say, with the least amount of tools. Remember, brothers and sisters, way before all this technology shit, just sit and marinate on that. Just think about that for a minute. Those who fought hard, really. That's why I always honor thy ancestors, those in our families that maybe went through the storm before this technology stuff. That's something I think about a lot, because even though like this social media and this technology can damage you psychologically, but it also has a benefit to it when we are finally righteous, and I know that word righteous get thrown around. I say it a lot, but when you're actually living it, it's wonderful. Then when we say it, it feels good when we're actually doing it. Again, it's not easy, it's a process, different strokes, different folks, but it's a process that has to be taken. I don't care how corny we think it is. God's not corny. Great divine is not corny. Mother Nature is never corny. It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. It created us. It breathed life into us, but it can also allow life to be taken from us. And I'm not just talking about physical, because I like to say a lot. You can be the walking dead, walking on this earth and not even living, So what's the point of being here if we're not living for something righteous, Because you can't go, what can you lose being righteous? I don't care how corny we think it are, Like I say, take a lesson. We're in lesson times, okay? Take a look at those who pose as gangsters and hard and thugs. Take a look at their lives, So again, we all have been there through the trials and tribulations and different roads and ways we were raised, and religions and beliefs and theologies and ideologies. We've all been through that. But at some point, we have to get our shit together and become wise, especially if we got what? Children, family, significant other. So it's beautiful when righteous becomes second nature, when we finally went through all of the layers. Because I will never, ever come off like this righteous thing is easy, because it wasn't for me. Let me tell you, it took some years. It took some studying. And I always like to reiterate, I bring this up every now and then. There was a time, brothers and sisters, when I didn't know shit. And that's just keeping it raw. I didn't know a damn thing. When we can get to that point in our lives and know that it was just a point, not all of us now, but some of us. I'm not trying to put what I went through and what I felt, how I was back in the day. I don't want to push that on the one else. That's just for me. But I know it's some out there that can agree, but we have to be in tune with oneself. We have to take some humiliation about oneself, not humiliation from others, but just about oneself, and just be real, with yourself. Because when you're real with yourself, you don't give a damn what person, place, or thing says, does, none of that. It's about being true, not in a arrogant way or a boisterous way. You just get to a point righteously where you don't give a fuck. You just want to do right, and you want to teach it to others, children, our brothers and sisters in our circle, in the world, or online. It gets to a point where it gets real. It's real now, but unfortunately, some haven't reached that state. Now you have some that want to reach that righteous state, and some that don't, but the ones that do and maybe haven't quite made it there yet, you'll get there. You just have to stick with it. We have to remember, the great divine takes us through different stages and different levels of our lives. It depends on how we are. Because I'll say this time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, That higher power knows us better than we know ourselves. So I don't give a damn how powerful we think we are. Like I always say, that real God, not that false shit, the real God holds the power. We don't. So that's why we stay righteous. That's why we take meditative moments. That's why we take quiet moments. That's why some of us pray. Those who truly, I used to pray. I don't say pray anymore. I say call down from that great divine. But it all is leading to the same thing. We're all calling from the same God at the end of the day. There is no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gods. There's only one true, higher, supreme being. So let's get that straight. There's only one true God. There's just many names on it, many ways. But God is not about levels. The name that we put on that higher power is what man labeled. The God didn't give itself the name. God doesn't even have a name. It's just a force to be reckoned with, that can tear down all this shit. Real talk. So that's why I will always hold, so much respect and honor for the higher power. Because as I say, as all of us, we all have had those divine moments that let us know that power exists. It's not a joke, but again, we have to be in that righteous space and be connected to see it, and not mixed in what we see in the media. This back and forth and going back and forth and talking about each other, this, that, and the third. It's okay to expose things and talk about things, but is it leading to a result? Is it helping humanity? Is it helping the culture? Is all this debating leading to a solution? So that's why you don't see certain shit on my banner. And that's just keeping it raw. I'm for that great divine, for the people, my children, and my family. Not this celebrity shit, not this politics shit. If it's not helping or benefiting one's life, why are we mixed up in it? If it's not helping us, are we doing it for views? Are we doing it to be seen? Are we trauma bonding? Is it entertainment? What the fuck are we doing? It's coming from a place of love, but we got to keep it real. Just like I say, in our family, we have brothers and sisters. We have debates and discuss things. We're going to come a little raw sometimes. As I've said many times, and many other reachers and teachers, salute, teach like this, Positive energy can be a good thing, but it's not always a soft thing. Sometimes you got to come a little hard, and touch that nerve, let people know that righteousness is not a joke, neither or is it corny. It depends on the person. Righteousness is just like positivity. It's creating a means for a better life. It's all about how we look at it, our perspective, our perception of what righteous is. It's a way of life. It's something we should try to do every day the best way we can. And why do we drill righteousness into ourselves? Because we living in this human body, brothers and sisters, and we know how the human body can be. And I'll reiterate again, the human body, the human flesh is not shit. The human flesh is lustful. The human flesh is greedy. The human flesh wants what it wants when it wants it, So that's why we have to study that inner. That's why you got so many of us, brothers and sisters, teaching on what? That inner, deep, deep, deep core. Because that's where all the battles are fought. And that's where you will win or lose, brothers and sisters. Deep, deep within our psyche. Man, when righteousness becomes second nature, when we finally are there, guess what we can do? Breathe. When you can just breathe and exhale in life, and you're not all stressed out, and you don't have things pulling you this way and pulling you that way, you're just trying to show love and you're overcoming, man, you truly have hit second nature of righteousness. And y'all already know we're gonna go into a meditative moment. I like to go deeper into second nature. How do we know that we have righteousness, and how do we make it become second nature? How do we get to that point? Like I said, we have to study ourselves on the daily, on the regular, study our impulses, our intuition. I always like to talk about those things, instincts. I had what I call them the 4 eyes. I'm gonna see if I can remember them. I say this every other podcast, but I know it's I know one of the eyes is intuition, instincts. I had them in order, but I'm gonna try to remember them. It was intuition, instincts, impulses, and it was one more. It'll come to me, but I know it was intuition, instincts, impulses. Impulses is a major one because social media, this world is loaded with wrong impulses. So I've said this many times, but if you want to flow through life and really be disciplined, study our impulses. I'll stop right there. You study your impulses, and like we all say, everything doesn't have to be responded to depending on what it is, unless it's a threat to your flesh or your family or yourself. The hell with it. I'm telling you, it keeps us looking younger, and it's less stress in your life when we study our impulses. I gotta remember that other I was 4 eyes. I gotta remember it. I know it was intuition, instincts, impulses. It was one more. Introversion. That's what it was. That was the first one, actually. It was introversion, intuition, instincts, and impulses. Sorry I said those so many times, but I kept saying it so I would remember it because I actually wrote it down. I mean, I'm telling you, you study those 4 things, in your life, each individually, break them down, even look each one of them up, break them down individually, like stress and a lot of other things that are vital within our body. And I'm telling you, will learn so much about ourselves. And this is how we are on the track to becoming second nature. You'll know when you know. Things will just pop in our spirit divinely. Because if you have to start with the right heart first off, in order to. We talk about all righteous things now. We're not talking about nothing bad. We're only talking about things that are righteous, and making it or manifesting it and it becoming second nature. It's beautiful, but you have to work to get to that point. And but when and I'm gonna give an example. Now, there are many things we can do in this world. A lot of us are brilliant, creative, have many gifts, but I want to use when I first started speaking as an example. Now, when I first started doing this, I first started speaking. Now, I've always been positive, but I'm more real now. Now it's more natural now. I don't push as much as I used to, and that's what I wanted to get at. When I first started doing this, I think I was pushing a little bit, and I think I was walking toward the right cause, but it was little things still kind of pulling on me here and there. And I was just had that, how you have that anxious anxiety inside of you, and you're trying to do this and you're trying to force stuff. So that's kind of how it was in the beginning of this, trying to push, trying to force. That's why I always have that saying, we don't push, but we don't give up. So now, and this is, let me see, I'm gonna say maybe 15 years ago, I really started speaking. I say 15, maybe 20. 20 years ago. Man, I'm telling you, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. And we still learn as we go along. That's how we ascend. When we keep ourselves, we stay having a student spirit. Some I say a lot. We are not we are not followers. We are leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Don't forget that. We changing that damn narrative. There's not no followers out here. We are generals, or maybe future generals. Might have some in the process of becoming generals. That's brother or sister, like my son, Lord Lamont, going through his transformation stage. And look for the father and son discussions, music from him, music from me. I just uploaded a song called All This Love, and I freestyled that song. I don't freestyle all the songs I make, but I freestyle some of them. I like to write as well as my son. And but yeah, it's beautiful. And I just wanted to throw that in there. Look for the father and son discussions. And I just brought my son up because these are things that we can teach the youth, self-reliance, look up spirituality so they can really get to know their spirit within themselves, And, like I say, when I first started doing it, I used to push. Now I don't push anymore. Now it's just creative. It just comes to me. I've learned to speak when that great divine tells me to speak. I don't always have to speak all the time. Speak when I got something to say. Not no bull, not no shenanigans, and stuff to get attention and reach and all that. No, I want to touch people's soul, because there are brothers and sisters that touch my soul, as well as in my family, and that's the feeling that you can't describe, you can't explain. Only those who are truly connected. We can, those of us that reach and teach, or, there's in our families that's wise and that's taught us things and showed us things. We can do these things effortlessly, but we have to do it ourselves. We have to make the challenge. We have to make the move. We have to not make it happen, but we have to be the ones to do it. I always say, brothers and sisters, it's a circle of life. It would always come down to oneself. I don't care how many times we hear that. Been there, done that, But like my son said on the podcast we did on New Year's Eve, make it an adventure. Don't make it a stressful thing when you're trying to figure yourself out. Look up things about it. Some of it can be amazing. You'll be amazed of the things that will come up when you really study that inner. Now, a lot of bad things will come up too. You got to deal with that too. But a lot of great things can come up. When we get rid of that fearful shit and worrying about what somebody gonna say and just fucking put it out there. Like KRS-One said, when we have a deep divine spirit within our soul, and we begin to speak it out our mouths, the universe responds. I'm telling you, and it's not no cosmic, it does. It happens. When you put great energy out, it responds. The universe, God, whatever positive force, powerful force that's out there, it responds, whether it's soon or later. And I always like to say, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the flip side, same thing if you're doing something evil, same thing, and that's facts. A lot of us have experienced this. Why you think we got all these reachers and teachers out here? Why you think a lot of our family members are wise and different in this time? Because a lot of us we took those blinders off a long time ago. A lot of us are seeing a lot of great things, not just in the world, person, place, or thing, within ourselves. It's beautiful when we get to that point, but we have to work to get there, and I'm telling you, you'll know when you'll know, because things will just pop in your spirit. You begin to do things you love, and it'll be joy and not work. Like I said, make yourself a project. Don't look at it as dysfunctional or stressful. It can be amazing, the things we find out about ourselves, as Lord Lamont said, my son, on that Father and Son podcast. And the name of that was called Upgrade is a State of Mind. That was the name of that. If you want to check that out, it's on my channel. And it was part 2 of Knowing Our Purpose, because we did another show on knowing our purpose. So that was kind of like part 2. We just kind of blended in 2 shows and like one show with the show we already did. So the title of Knowing Our Purpose is on the thumbnail, and Upgrade is a State of Mind is on the banner, And I always like to say, I don't know a lot about computers, and it's many things that I could seek knowledge about that I don't know about. It's beautiful when we can just explore. That's what my son said too. It's magical, not magical, because no such thing as magic. It's amazing when we explore ourselves, the things we learn about ourselves, and then we begin to learn about others. It's amazing when we learn about other brothers and sisters, man, especially when they got a good heart. And man, you just be surprised when we're in that space, the thing that great divine will bring along in our path. We just got to stay in that space, and it's something I wanted to talk about. It's an artist that's in the media. They got a whole bunch of kids and stuff. I wanted to call down a little divine protection for that brother. And I don't like to say names out of respect, because I don't do the clout chasing thing. So if you go on a lot of my podcasts, I really don't say names. Every now and then I'll say a name in an example, but I really don't say names, because I want those to click on because they want to hear one speak and get some inspiration, not because of shit I got on my banner. That's just me though. That's why you don't see a lot of celebrities plastered all over my banner, because when you when righteousness does become second nature, those are the type of things that we won't do. We don't have to go with trends. I don't do trends. Nothing against nobody else. It's just my thing. I despise trends, because to me, like I said in the podcast, my honey bumblebee theory. They always throwing shit out here, and everybody goes to it like bumblebees. Bzzz. And I don't do that shit. You know, I walk. I'm with brothers and sisters, my family, of course. I don't be alone all the time, but I'm like a tiger, brothers and sisters. I walk alone, and tigers are very shrewd and very smart, and they don't run in a pack, but they can. You know what I'm saying? But if they're not in the pack, they're okay. That's a beautiful way to be. You know, when you can be with brothers and sisters and be with your family, but you can also be by yourself. Because if you happy and love yourself, you'll be happy and love everyone else. Real talk. That's the law of attraction, brothers and sisters. That's why you always have to encourage oneself. You know, talk good things into your spirit, you know, so you can speak it into others, you know, but it takes practice. It takes work, you know. We have to pay attention, like I said a minute ago, our instincts and impulses and behavior. You know, I'm telling you, we'll be our own freaking superhero. Real talk. That's a true superhero. When a brother or sister, young or old, finally knows themselves. That's the best gift one can have. And that's the gift that keeps on giving. And I want to read this summary about becoming how when righteousness becomes second nature. All right. Second nature. If something is second nature to you, you are so familiar with it that you can do it easily or effortlessly without needing to think very much about it. Man, and that's beautiful. That's like flowing. You just flow. You don't even, you get that download, that divine download in your spirit, and you flow with it. You don't think about it. You don't, should I do it? Should I not? No, because you know when you know. Okay, and I'm going to read a little example. I used to hate computers. Remember I talked about, did I talk about computers? No, I didn't. I talked about when I first started speaking. But before I finish this example, I still need to know more about computers. I don't know a lot. My son knows a lot more. But speaking and become passionate about being positive and speaking to others, you know, subscribers and viewers and stuff like that. When you're passionate about something and you really like what you're doing and you mean well and you have no evil agenda, you know, you get better at things and it does become second nature. And, you know, so I have gotten a little better with computers, like what I was getting ready to say, speaking and doing music and, you know, being on YouTube and stuff like that. It actually educated me more about computers because, like I said, if you're passionate about reaching people and you really have love in your soul, you'll learn that skill, you know, in the computer or whatever area you're in to try to reach people. So me wanting to reach people, being a positive brother, you know, being a passionate brother, you know, it gave me that divine determination. I learned different things, you know. So I'm gonna read this example, and I'm sure there are others like this too that we learn by speaking and reaching people. That's how we messing around on this YouTube. If you got a right heart and you on for the right reasons, you can educate yourself on computers. You can educate your own self. So that's what I'm getting at. So I learned from speaking on YouTube how to use computers better. That's how I got better at it. So I'm gonna read this example. I used to hate, I ain't never hated computers though, but in this example it says that I used to hate computers, but using them is second nature to me now. You know? And that's the same thing with righteousness. You know, when you just got right in your heart, and I say this a lot too, if you just got right in your heart and you have no evil, malice, jealousy, and you just flow and you just love and you just be positive, you have nothing to worry about. You know, if you have nothing bad within, I'm not talking about the little, you know, if we have something on our mind or a challenge or something like that, I ain't talking about that. But if you have no evil anything within, you have nothing to worry about. And be happy and be thankful. You know, brothers and sisters got to learn to be thankful. You know what I mean? Real talk. You alive and breathing. Why you think I always say that at the beginning of the podcast? You alive and breathing. You are blessed or blessed. Start right there. Because you alive and breathing, you can change anything that you're facing, or you can do anything that you want to do. We're talking righteous here now, you know. But we have to study, brothers and sisters. We have to do things to what? Maintain our righteousness. Because once we get to a success state of mind, we will have to do things to maintain it, you know. And why do we do things to maintain? that strong, righteous spirit that we have developed over the years. Because anything can happen at any given time. Unfortunately, I hate we live in, I don't like that word hate, but I hate we live in a world like that. But in order for us to keep peace, brothers and sisters, and keep flowing through this life naturally, we have to kind of be on guard, unfortunately. But once you are doing things of a natural heart and you do mean well, it will become easy, and it will become second nature. You hear me just breathing? Man, just feel relaxed. That's why I wanted to play this relaxing musical background, Like I say, do that in the morning in your meditation time. Listen to relaxing music. Anything that can ease the mind and make it where there's hardly less stress or no stress at all. That's what we're thriving for. No stress, because we ain't got no stress. Like I say, no wrong shit within us. Man, we can be a powerful force for others and make them be a powerful force, because that's what it's about. That's the circle of life. Becoming strong and making others strong. So we can have generals. We would just be surrounded by generals, brothers or sisters, young or old, and that's in our family. So when we study and we're unbothered and we're not wrapped up in the social media swirl and the web and the entanglement and dumb shit and debating and seeking attention and watching people's numbers and all this unnecessary shit that has nothing to do with this revolution, this cause, and this righteous walk that we are doing for humanity and or culture. Because I always say, folks, never forget what started this revolution in the first place. And I always like to say, and we've heard this saying before, it's not my saying, I say it sometimes, well, I said it one other time. The revolution will not be televised. And I actually heard a teacher say this, a brother that was on the platform I had been on, the only platform I ever been on. And the brother's platform, I heard this on, it's another brother that was on there that said this: the revolution begins in the mind, thus the psyche. That's where the revolution begins. Not speaking to, the revolution can be to the world too, to speak to our brothers and sisters, but it starts in the mind, brothers and sisters. And if you be on this walk long enough and you truly study yourself, you should know this. A lot of us should know this. Revolution begins in the mind. And again, that's not mine. I actually heard another brother say that, Like I always say, whatever little sayings I hear or I say, I will always say, because I don't say names, like I said, out of respect. But if someone else said it, I will say I heard it from a sister or I heard it from a brother or something like that. I will never take nobody else's stuff and use it and try to make it my own, because that can come back on us too. I'm telling you, everything matters when it comes to positive energy. It's not a joke, we be on this walk for a while. We'll see. That's why we got all these real like-minded reachers and teachers out here. And even those in our family, I'm telling you, in a different time. Even those in our family, I'm telling you, just got to pay attention. Keep your eyes open. We'll see things like this. And like I say, study ourselves on the regular. Study our impulses, like I said. Man, watch those instincts so we can deflect toxic bullets, as I always like to say, and we'll breeze through this life. Because when we connected, the only time we truly alive, as I heard in a movie, Eddie Murphy movie, Holy Man. I said this on my Father and Son podcast. The only time we are truly alive is when we connected to that great divine and Mother Nature. And then when we are finally connected, when we went through the layers and we finally are there, we're not playing with our own lives and playing with nobody else's life, and we're just, got the bulls by the horn and nothing can fuck with us, righteousness will become second nature. So that's my thought. And y'all stay with it out there, my reachers and teachers, my real like-minded content creators. Emphasis on real. Stay with it. May that great divine bliss or bless you in your life. And my current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, may that great divine bliss or bless you in your life. And I honor my family. I honor your family. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now, and maintain that righteousness that so many so many of us have fought to get to and have right now. And always and forever, study ourselves so it can become second nature. So we don't have to think about it, do things righteously. And man, so it can become second nature. Real talk. Salute.